Hello guys, so welcome back to late Friday night's Banter Blitz. So a few things to start with. Actually, well, we didn't see each other, I think, during 1 week only, but it feels like we haven't seen for ages. That is what happens when you do like what you do, right? So I do like doing these shows, okay? The second thing is that I just came back from the Fonts Open 2017, and I did actually very well in the sense of score because I scored 7 out of 9, and in many cases it could have been just enough for the clear first, but this tournament it was just an exception because there were a lot of guys competing, and actually it wasn't enough even for second. It was enough only for tying the third, and well, my ratios were not that great, and I actually finished on the place number 8. Okay, so I did some little money, but I was generally satisfied with the trip because I managed to play a lot of interesting, in many cases just instructive games. So I will share some of them during training Tuesdays. And by the way, all premiums are welcome to the next training Tuesday. It will be on Tuesday, but what I want to tell you guys is that the starting time will be a new one. So from the next episode, we will start at 7:30. The reason why the time is changing because, well, I actually started a new portion of German language classes, so I don't have the possibility to avoid this school. And actually, it will be very useful for me because I live in Germany, so I have to know German, right? And well, actually, to be in time on Tuesdays during our training Tuesday shows, well, we actually shift the starting time. Well, it is only half an hour shift, okay? I think it won't be that bad for everybody's scheduling. So it was the most important information I wanted to share. Actually, tell me please about the quality of the sound, the picture as usual. All right. And we will start our today's session. As I promised during a previous show, well, I will start with a few games with newcomers, okay? So let's have a look. I have already a lot of different challenges. And yeah, let's go. So let us see. The very first challenger was Johan Wilhelm Möbus, but we played a lot. So another one was just a second. I have to cancel my game with Casper first of all to be able to accept challenges. Okay, so Prison Mike, we have never played, so let's do it. Prison Mike, just a second, accept, 5 minutes. Yep, and I play with white. Okay, e4. And another interesting thing that, according to my experience, after standard tournaments with a standard time control, I usually play very bad blitz. So, let's have a look what will happen today. Prison Mike, you have only a few seconds to start the game, because if you won't start the game, I'll just abort it, okay? Because there are a lot of... Okay, you started. d4, never mind. French defense. French defense that I usually meet with this knight c3 and e5. Let's have a look at what my opponent will play here, because there are a lot of different sidelines, a lot of different possibilities. One of the main one is, of course, to play knight c6, then bishop e7, and then castling. But there are also a lot of things connected with queen b6 move, with taking on d4 quickly, with a6, b5, also interesting plan. Queen b6, okay, so here my b2 pawn is hanging, so I have to react that with knight a4. Okay, everybody's discussing German. Very nice. Okay, queen a5 check. Again, I don't have a great choice here because my king was attacked and the knight and a4 at the same time, so c3 was actually forced. The only move. And, well, here black has two options as far as I remember. So the first one is to take on d4. Another one was to close the position with the c4. Okay, cd4. Now I play b4, which actually forces black to sacrifice the minor piece. Well, queen c7 is also a playable option, but there I think white is just better. After many different moves, including knight takes d4, bishop takes d4, I don't know which is better. Let's take with the knight, let's say. Yeah, and now I take with the bishop. Well, it looks a bit strange, I think, this pawn structure with the pawn on b4, so c3 is sort of weakened, but in my opinion, it is just a minor issue. What is important here is very harmonious development of my pieces. So as you can see, all my pieces are focused on the king side, except for the knight probably on a4. So I would be happy to maneuver this knight closer to the king side at some point. But maybe it will feel just okay here for some time because it prevents, let's say, black from playing very simple knight b6 followed by knight c4. So if knight goes to b6, I just take it with the knight. So knight on a4 plays probably defending role here. Okay, let's see. Castles. f6. Okay, so there are a lot of options after f6 usually. So I can play queen h5. I can play e5 takes f6 usually. I can play queen e2. Well, I think queen h5 will be just the most natural move. Already attacking h7, creating this threat of a checkmate immediately. Why not? Right? f5. Okay, closing diagonal, and now my g2, g4 becomes very natural follow-up because I want to open up a position on the king side for sure. But the question is to play g4 right away or maybe to prepare it a bit. I don't know. Let's see why g4 is a bad idea right now. It can't be a bad move, I guess. So g4, g6. Okay, queen goes away. Let's say on h3 even. Yeah, everything looks fine. So I'm better developed. And wow, queen d8. Seriously? What will happen if I just take on f5? I don't know. G takes f5, e takes f5. Okay, if bishop takes f5, then maybe there is a trick with knight f6, attacking my queen, and, well, I just take on f6. It doesn't work. G takes f5 should be played 100%. And after e takes f5, we will see. But I think I could just take on f5 with the bishop. No problems with that. So bishop takes f5. Let's see. h7 checkmate is a threat. So rook takes f5 will be played maybe. Queen takes f5. Then knight goes to f6. My queen is not trapped, so I can go away with the queen probably. But I don't like that my opponent will control light squares. So maybe it's better for me just to play king h1 and play positionally, because I do like that the knight is restricted on d7. Yeah, the knight is restricted on d7, and taking on f5 gives him some freedom. So rook f5, queen f5, knight f6, attacking my queen. Queen goes away, knight jumps to e4, and then his bishop goes somewhere on the light square maybe. So not that cool. But of course it was definitely playable, so just grab the exchange and to be materialistic. But I think that even simply improving position of my pieces would be a good idea for me in this position, because to keep all the weaknesses, I think black will have to, just to play something like g6 and so on. So I don't know what was the reason why we finished the game. Maybe because my opponent disconnected, but white definitely has the opening advantage already. I think serious one, because there is a big problem with developing the rest of pieces and so on. So this position should be played differently. I think that if black plays this variation, then it is much better to avoid taking on d4, because it improves my position dramatically. So something like a6 should be played here or something. I don't know. Maybe bishop e7 immediately. I'm not a big expert. And 100% for Blitz game, it was much better choice just to take on b4. Yeah, to play this variation, sacrificing the minor piece, because it is much more complicated. And having just a short time, it is not that simple to sort the things out. That's my opinion. After this, knight e4, bishop d4, giving me a chance just simply developing my pieces. Come on, I have no problems at all with developing my attack on the king side. f5, g4. So here g6 was probably the only move. After which I think my queen just goes to h3 at very least, and I'm happy, because after this and this, look, e6 is under attack, g6 is under attack, so I can play this h4, h5. So I'm satisfied with the results. So I have very promising situation on the king side. Very good attacking chances, in my opinion. Okay, let's continue. So the next challenger that we didn't play at all is TB Orsted from Norway. Okay, I accept the challenge. And yes, I'm playing black now. e4, e5. Saniel26 says, Andre, could you let me know when you cover the bishop and knight mates in your training Tuesday? Never, actually. I didn't do that, because it's like the basics of chess, and this thing should be covered in almost every handbook. Okay, so I don't think there is a big sense in covering this topic. Okay, bishop goes to c4, knight goes to c6. So we have the mix of Vienna, but Vienna is usually played with f4. Here I think I have a good moment just to grab the bishop, light squared one. So knight a5. It became possible after white played d3, so now the bishop is limited with the on pawn and can't retreat, which means I can grab the bishop. Knight f3, okay. I can play d6. I can take on c4 immediately, which is better. I'm not really sure, but let's take the bishop first, and then we'll see. So knight e5, is it a real threat? Maybe not that dangerous, so especially if I play bishop b4 now. If knight takes e5, then queen e7 is possible, so I will definitely regain the pawn e4 at some point. And it will lead to opening of the position a bit, which is not that bad for me, I think. So bishop b4 looks like a natural development move. So let's do it. So this is considered quite good position for black. As far as I remember, there are a lot of games, of course, played on this topic, with top players playing for black and white. But I think the stats are on the black side. Okay, castles, this gives me a chance to take on c3 and to damage the pawn structure. Maybe I should do that. Because if I don't, knight e5 will be possible, and so on. Let's take it. Let's see, what is it? So tripled pawns. Looks cool for me. If I play d6 right now, protecting my e5 pawn, then c5 will be possible, at least exchanging the 1. So probably it's better for me just to play queen e7, also protecting e5 pawn, but stopping this c5 for a while. Yeah, I like my position already. We have opposing color bishops, which is interesting. Another interesting feature, I mean. Okay, h6 now. That looks great. Because if bishop takes f6, I'm happy. If bishop doesn't take, maybe I'm happy too. So what about just playing g5, and after bishop g3, d6, finally making this bishop a bit stupid. Well, it will be probably not a big problem to make it not that stupid after playing knight e2, f3, bishop f2. So I'll start with the d6. Now it's possible because c5, well, I just take this pawn. At some point I can play even c5, I think, just fixing all these weaknesses. c4, c3, c2. Okay, queen d3 protecting e4 pawn. So what about just bishop e6 now? Looks very natural. Developing the bishop and starting... Okay, starting nothing because of c5. So what to do now? If I take on c5, probably knight e5 will be played. Yeah, definitely I should have done something to prevent this c5. Maybe g5 and knight e7. I don't know. Now what to do? I think it makes sense just to do this. Castles. Now dc5 is a threat. d5 is also a threat at some point. If c takes d6, I have a very pleasant choice between taking with the pawn, taking with the rook, taking with the queen even. So there are a lot of different opportunities for me. Because cd6, I mean c7 takes d6, will lead to opening the c file, so I will attack those weaknesses c3 and c2 at some point. Oh, come on, c6, really? What's that? Oh, my opponent plays very well, to be honest. Yeah. I underestimated this resource. Okay, I have to take, I think. My gosh. Could be very annoying. Okay, queen a6, king d7, but then knight e5, rook d1. Well, right away it is not that dangerous, but since the rook is on d1, it will be, oh my god. Yeah, I missed c6 for sure. Okay, rook e1, very strange move. Come on, what's that? What is that? Not quite sure. Not quite sure. So queen a6 is definitely a threat, followed by something like knight e5. So let's first of all say, sure, well, solve the problem of this knight, right? So e5 is protected now. I can play king d7 at any moment. Yes. Now let's do this. Restrict this bishop. Okay. So let's continue with the attack against this bishop. So maybe knight f4 will be played next. I'm a pawn up at the moment. And now I can play f6 to protect e5, even if knight goes to c4. That's my point. Position is still very dangerous, however. So I have to be very accurate here. Queen a7, rook a8. This should be good for me. Long term. But of course I have to be faster. Come on, I play very slow in this game. Let's take the guy. Let's go here. Just to attack a bit, maybe. Just maybe. 36 seconds. Come on. Let's do this. Let's grab this A pawn. I want to grab it. Looks like a weakness. Yeah. Knight b3, okay. That was a trap. Knight c5 was a threat. Now it is not. How sneaky. Sneaky guy from Norway. Okay. Let's take the guy. Let's take the pawn. Yep. Pawn up. Right. Again. Takes. No, queen g5. Simplifying the position a bit. Because I don't have enough time to play complicated chess. So what the hell? What are you thinking about? Okay. Oops. Great blunder. Okay, thank you very much. Ooh, you made my life easier. Much easier. Okay. That was an interesting fight. So I thought I was much better from the very beginning, and I think I really was. But then I spoiled something, underestimating this c6 move, right? And c5 maybe as well. So here I think was a critical moment. Instead of playing bishop e6, it was much better for me just to play g5. And after bishop goes to g3, which looks like the only move, I could have played knight d7, completely stopping this c5. That was the best move for me, the best decision. So now my knight simply goes to c5 next move, blockading all these guys, I mean c2, c3, c4, and only then my bishop is being developed. Moreover, this maneuver, I mean g5 and knight d7, goes hand in hand with the plan of castling long and attacking on the king's side, because, well, after g5 I grab the space on the king side. After knight d7 I protect my g5 pawn so that I can play h5 next move and continue pushing my pawns there, trying to open up files and so on. And this prevents white's most active idea, I mean c4, c5. That's the point. Okay. Let's continue. By the way, the question, what about b6? Well, b6 is also playable, but b6 weakens light squares, so b6 doesn't really stop c5. So if I play b6, I can play c5 anyway, sacrificing the pawn, and then some play along light squares will be maybe a bit annoying. If I don't play b6, if I don't make this concession, white simply has nothing. I mean, after g5, bishop g3, knight d7, c5 makes no sense at all. I just take with the knight, improve the position of my knight, and I have no weaknesses. I have no concessions made on the queen side, right? So, very nice. Okay. Let us continue. Okay. 2 more games with newcomers, and then continue to challenges one by one. Okay. Sleef. Triple F or Slife, I don't know, from Canada, never played except. And again with black. Okay. e4, e5. Knight f3, knight c6. Okay, Italian game, Evans Gambit, or something else. Evans. Okay, let's play Evans. Bishop here, d4 and d6. Castles. castles instead of queen b3. Interesting. What about just knight f6? I don't know. Knight f6. What is that? Takes e5, takes e5, takes e5, queen d8, king d8, bishop f7. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible for white to play. Knight e7 deserves attention, but then queen b3 might be annoying a bit. So what else? Queen e7 simply. Then d5. No. This looks bad. So how to react this correctly? Simply castles. Bishop to b6 maybe. Bishop to b6. But then takes e5. Okay, knight c... Nah. Knight cf6 looks not that great. No. No, no, no. Knight to e7. I'm always confused in such a position. I don't know why. But okay. Let's do something strange. I mean, queen d7 move, like protecting f7 in advance, being ready to meet d takes e5, because now if queens are being exchanged, there is nothing wrong for black in this. And also protecting a4 square, so now if d5 knight simply goes away and queen a4 check is no longer possible, something like that. Oh my goodness, Sleeve was not a premium member. My God, come on. Again, the same problem. So, yeah. Okay. I probably will do the following next time. So I will just abort, decline all the challenges from non-premiums. That is like, yeah, annoying. Okay. Yeah, very bad, guys. Sorry for that. I feel very sorry now. Okay, let's play quickly. Yes, it would be a good idea next time just to go through the challenges before the start of the show and to see if all the challengers are premiums. If some of them are not, just to decline their challenges in advance to prevent these mistakes. Sorry, guys. Sorry. But now I can't even abort the game because, yeah, I have to resign. Yeah, bad. Very bad. Okay. Let's play quickly. I think I already have a winning position because of the extra pawn, and I can't see quite a compensation for white. After all these maneuvers like bishop b5, bishop a4, come on. I have well-protected center, right? So nothing wrong with all that. And now we have something like a Spanish pawn structure, but with the extra pawn for me. Should be winning somehow. D takes e5. Okay, let's take with the knight. I mean, if he takes an e5 and exchanges queens, then, well, everything is fine for black. Still good for black. Knight f5. Okay, let's castle. Let's castle. Oh, very passive, I think. Bishop goes to b7, attacking e4. It is hanging twice, by the way. It is attacked twice. I still have extra pawn, by the way. No compensation at all. So now I can put my knight in this very nice position on d3. Attacking f2 and challenging the bishop on c1, maybe. Also thinking of knight g4, attacking f2 the third time. Might be very annoying for white. Also, I prepare something like rook e8. Just keeping attacking this e4 pawn. Queen e2. Okay. To take on f2, then to play knight g4 looks very tempting. Can white protect the rook? Not sure. Let's do that. Yeah. White's pieces are not coordinated well. That's why this tactic's possible, usually. So as we can see, guys, I try to play as fast as possible to finish this game. At the same time, I still tell you something useful, I think, something instructive. So it's not a waste of time completely. Okay, let's take with the bishop. I think it's very good just to go away with the bishop. It's also quite good just to take the knight on g3, damage in the pawn structure, and then attack an e4 pawn. I don't know which is better. Let's try this one because it helps me to simplify position a bit. At the same time, e4 pawn is hanging. F5 looks absolutely devastating because of the depending on the e file. At the same time, f5 looks very nice because I just want to open up the f file against opponent's king. So that is like absolutely winning position for black already. Knight g5. Well, I can take an e4 with the tempo, with my pawn, I mean. Then king goes to g1. Then what? Queen to f5 maybe. Not so simple maybe. Okay, I can take with the bishop on e4. I think taking with the bishop is better. So I open up the e file. Now there are a lot of threads connected with just jumping with the bishop somewhere. Knight f7 is not a thread. I just take it with the rook and then take opponent's bishop. So it's absolutely winning. What else? Let's play h6 here. Oh my goodness, it's absolutely winning. Come on, it's time to resign, I think. Because look, I have a lot of extra material, first of all. Second of all white's pieces are not coordinated, so there is no compensation at all. Everything is hanging, everything is very bad here. I don't know why white is still playing, but okay. Let's complete the mission. I don't know, g5. Are you serious, my friend? Come on. Checkmate. Not interesting at all in the end because she was absolutely winning many moves ago. So the main mistake is just to play something really odd, like, I don't know, after queen d7, bishop b5, just giving me a chance to play a6, b5. So at least it was necessary to take on c6 here, and then to take on e5. Of course, I have pair of bishops, and I think I have better chances, but, well, the material is even, at very least. Okay, sorry for this wasting the time, and the last game with the newcomer, I think I am ecstatic whenever played, and he's a premium, so accept. And I play with white. Okay, e4. I am ecstatic. Come on, my friend, you're welcome. It's your turn. Sicilian. So neither dragon or classic Sicilian, knight f6, knight c6. Yeah, a6. Let's try knight b3. e6. g4. Wallace Shawn says, I'm scared. I'm not scared, come on. I'm not scared at all. No one on this planet can scare me. Yep. And look how I play. Like g4, g5, h4. Does it look like I'm scared? I don't think so. Okay, knight c6, bishop g2. f4, f5. That is my plan. Just to squeeze black here. That is the point. Okay, queen c7, preparing b5, I suspect. Preparing b5. Well, there are a lot of possibilities for me to react this idea. One of them is to put my queen on e2 to have knight d5 at some point. Right? Yeah, it is quite a good idea. Let's do it. So queen goes to e2 to have knight d5. It's typical sacrifice of a piece in the Sicilian, a positional one. Well, knight to a5, come on. So if black wanted to play knight a5, it would have been much better to do that immediately with the queen on d8, because if I can take it, right, black could have saved one tempo. Queen takes a5. Now it looks like I just won the tempo, very important one. Look, the queen played queen c7, then queen a5, and then again queen c7. It can't be good, right? Gives me a lot of tempi in a sharp position with opposing side castles, I think. So in such a situation, the time plays a great role. And yeah, here we can see that black just wasted 3 moves for nothing. Yeah, it's a serious mistake already. Yeah, b5 gives me a chance to play e5 now. But e5 probably gives me nothing serious. So e5, okay, let's say d5. But maybe there I can sacrifice a minor piece or not. So let's see. e5, d5, bishop d5, ed5, knight e5. What's next? Queen takes e5. Then I take queen takes e5, knight e5, knight c7 check, then takes a8. I am a exchange up. And it's highly unlikely that my knight will be trapped there on a8, because b6 square, c7, and so on. So e5, d5, bishop d5, ed5, knight e5, then what? Queen goes away somewhere, but where? c6 probably. Then what? I can play knight f6, of course. Very tricky move. But it is a sacrifice of the next piece. One more. No, it looks not that cool. Maybe it's better for me just to prepare this sacrifice. I mean, it looks like... Yeah, it looks like black will play something like b4. And then knight goes to d5 should be played. Could be played, I mean. So maybe just f4 and f5. I know, let's try f4, f5. So b4, then knight e5, ed5, ed5. I think very good position. It rises for a price of just minor piece, right? I have much more space and black is not developed. That is why sacrificing a minor piece can be justified. Yeah, because at some point it will be like playing with some even extra material, not like minus material, because yeah, not developed pieces are not the ones that should be counted. Okay, bishop b7. Now I wanted to play f5. But after b4, knight e5, 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 e5 square will be completely weakened, and then I can occupy e5. Okay, I don't want to do this. So yeah, let's have the pawn on f4 for some time. So what to do instead? How to prepare? Maybe to play king b1, and if rook c8 preparing b4, then just a3, or a3 right away. a3 looks also quite playable here. It stops black attack for some time, but then knight b6 can be played. Okay, what is better? What is better? I don't know. Let's play king b1. Let's start with this. Oh, castle's long. Come on. Okay. Let's say if I play a4, b4, knight a2, a5, c3, b3, knight c1. So b3 should drop, I guess. But then knight c5. No, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. Okay. Only 1 minute left. That was quite slow again. That is the problem. I play slow chess. That is okay after just a classic tournament, right? That is just okay, just a normal situation. That's why I told you that after a classic tournament, you usually play bad blitz. You got used to another way of thinking, during, I don't know. Yeah, in my case, it was 5 days in a row. 2 games a day. So now I can notice that at some point I can play even b4, but it doesn't lead to a checkmate because bishop b7 controls a8 square, so I have to be careful. I don't have to be in a hurry with this attack. I think against the king there, at least I don't have to create a lot of weaknesses for the sake of this attack. That's the point. It's better to keep playing positional chess. I don't think I have a lot in this position, but I have at least something, I guess. Oh, that is strange. That is strange decision. Gives me very interesting opportunity to occupy h7 square with my rook and to fight for the h-file, or at least to create a passed pawn there. Oh, come on! That is absolutely lost, I think, already. Should be at the very least. My goodness. Yeah, rook h1 was probably not necessary. Bishop h3 was much better. Yeah. 100%. But okay. Let's try this now. What my opponent does, I don't understand. I don't understand his play at all. Okay, let's check this finally. Where the king goes? To c8 probably, yeah. Let's undermine everything here. I can't believe it is not winning for white. Yeah, but position is quite complicated, of course. But I should be winning, come on. Should be absolutely winning. Yep. Rook g1. Also have the idea of playing rook g3, rook c3. And I do that quite quickly. No defense here, I suspect. Just a rook lift helped me to win, right? Oh. Check. Yeah. No checks even. Well, except for f5, but I take the bishop with the rook. Yeah, absolutely lost position. So, I think I could have played much better after all this losing the time. I mean, queen takes a5, bishop d2, queen t, c7, castles, and b5. I could have played e5 here. Maybe that was the best move. I don't know. So d5 is more or less forced. Otherwise, I just take on d6 and open up files already, and this should be just big advantage. So d5 should be considered here as a critical continuation. And now knight takes d5 or bishop takes d5. So let's say bishop takes d5, ed5, and knight takes d5. Is it something or not? Because, yeah, I understood that queen e5 is probably not a move because of takes, knight c7 check, and takes a8. So should be winning for white already. Yeah, because of bishop a5 double check threat. So my knight is definitely not trapped there, but maybe bishop b7, right? Bishop b7 attacking my rook on h1. I don't know, bishop c3 check. Let's say attacking the knight d7, sorry, e5. If knight goes to d7, the knight at b6, attacking this knight on d7. So it looks anyway quite good for white, right? If king goes away, I just take an e5, let's say. Yeah, I have material up here, so this is not good. But I finished my calculation after queen c6, considering this position a bit complicated to play, to estimate first of all. But I think after simple knight e7, king e7, bishop b4, followed by, I don't know, bishop d6 or something. Yeah, bishop d6 looks very good, just closing the 6th rank for the queen, intending to play e6. Should be very promising for white. Maybe I just overestimate my chances, I don't know. Maybe rook e1 is better here. Just preparing rook to d6 followed by e6. Yeah, this looks much more interesting, much more promising and stronger. You know, white has at least very good chances. So maybe that was the idea for me. And for black, of course, well, it should be avoided. I mean, this queen c7 followed by knight a5. If you want to play knight a5, okay, play it right now, right here. So knight a5 takes with the queen, so you don't spend the time on queen c7 move, right? So, yeah. Okay. Harry 8 from Australia. Colin Cohn we have already played a lot. So Wallace Sean from Canada. And okay, let's try it. So 2500s, rated quite well. So let's play e4, e5, something classic, right? Bishop b5. So a6 or f5 or what is there? So let's try this exchanged variation. I play it frequently when I play Blitz because it gives me a chance to make a lot of moves quite quickly. Because the ideas are quite understandable. So I explained this many times, I guess. So white just gives up a bishop for the knight, but damages the pawn structure and hopes to actually exploit a bad pawn structure of black in the future, having the pawn majority on the king side. On the bishop h5, of course, the main continuation is g4, followed by taking on e5. But as I said during previous episode of Late Friday Night Banter Blitz, I'm not quite confident in the theory of that variation, so I'll just develop my pieces. I will just simply develop my pieces on normal positions. Okay, and here the knight usually goes to e3 to control f5 square, maybe to occupy f5 square at some point, and to prevent at least g5, g4. That's the point. Okay, since e3 is engaged, bishop goes to d2. There is also an idea of, yeah, minority attack, but after c5 it will be very hard to arrange. Still, there are some ideas connected with just preparing d4 at some point. a3, b4 can be played as well, but this makes black's pawn structure not that bad. So it helps black to solve the main problem. So I'll just keep developing my pieces, maybe preparing for, I don't know, d4, or maybe knight f5. There are a lot of different ideas for white. Queen e5 is kind of multi-purpose move that, yeah, keeps A lot of different possibilities. A5. Okay, let's meet this with A4. Yeah, knight to C6, preparing knight to D4. So C3 should be played here for sure. Yeah, so I control B4, D4, making knight C6 not that great. After queen D7, I think it's already time for me to make a decision about, I don't know, F5 square. So let's start with the G4. And now the knight goes to F5. Looks quite normal for white. Bishop to E3 now, or what? Then bishop goes to F8, attacking my D3 pawn. Then probably I will play ugly knight E1 move, simply protecting D3. And preparing F4. Yes, let's do that. Oh, C4. That's interesting. I can just take the pawn, I think. I can't see why black did that. So let's take it. Come on. Bishop F8. Now I have extra pawn, right? Right. Queen D3 is a threat, however. So rook D1. Bishop takes C4 is not the case. So yeah, just rook D1. Bishop C4 I just take with the queen with check. And now what? How to increase the pressure? C5? No, C5 makes bishop F7 quite free. Instead, I think it's better for me just to play B3. Yeah. A good position for white. Just extra pawn. Always pleasant. Always pleasant to have an extra material. Knight D8. What is going on here? So knight goes to E6. So what? Then to C5 maybe. Yeah, that is the plan. Interesting. What to do now? That's interesting position. Yeah, probably it was better for me to play C5 at that point, but okay. It's still possible, first of all. Also, there are some plans connected with improving the position of my knight F3. So knight F3 looks stupid, right? It did not that much. So on D3, I think it will be better. Controlling most important squares. At least being ready to help me with some simplification. So let's exchange that piece. I mean that rook. Okay, queen takes. H5. Okay, F3. Let's play this. Just having everything protected. Okay, knight G3 now. Knight E2. Still having everything protected. Okay. So, king side is closed now. This is probably a portion of good news for my knights, because my knights still can be maneuvered somewhere on F5, let's say. In the future, of course. Not immediately. Black definitely has a compensation for a missing pawn, I should say. But I do hope that this compensation is not that great. Okay. I can't see a clear plan at the moment. Okay. But after this simplification, I think I'm much better, because look at this stupid bishop. Bishop is really bad. If compared to my knight, that can be maneuvered everywhere. So yeah. Now I'm clearly better. I'm just clearly better. I should be winning, I think, in this position. But I have to be careful. Yeah, for example, queen g3 was a threat. Okay. Oh, come on. I said I should be careful, but I've just, yeah, missed the check on c2. What a stupid move. Yep. Okay, now I'm not better, of course. I'm worse. I'm simply worse. Clearly worse. Come on. Oh my goodness. Why did I play this stupid chess? Oh. Let's take the pawn. What is going on here? Yeah, should be a draw, I think. Yes, come on. That was just a blunder in the end. Yeah. That was so good position already here. So probably I started with the wrong plan. Yep. So look, my knight is much better. So I have to maneuver my knight accurately to, to have my advantage proven. So knight e3 was not that bad. Bishop g6, okay, I played knight f2, still not that bad. King here, knight d1, queen f4. Queen gets to f2, okay, that is okay. So I've prevented all these threats, and now I want to play knight e3. So black by queen c1, that was a correct reaction, of course. Just to have the queen active. And queen e1 was so stupid move, come on, why did I play that? I don't know. But it looks like, yeah, it's not that simple to maneuver my knight towards a good position without losing much material or giving my opponent a chance to come up with the perpetual. So maybe this maneuver was actually not cool. So knight f2, okay, knight e1, yeah. So instead maybe queen d3 was better. Maybe queen to d3 was better. Because after queen d3, let's say queen f4 is not that dangerous. So if queen g3, then just king f1. So what? Nothing, right? So maybe that was better. And then, I don't know, queen d7, check. Still not that simple, to be honest. Yeah, still not that simple. Position is quite tricky, so yeah. I simply didn't find a good way under time pressure. Yeah. Okay, for my opponent, it was probably not that cool to exchange all these pieces. I think that it was better to keep position more or less complicated like this one. Yeah. So after all this, just not to play this quick bishop c5 or something, to maneuver somehow maybe. But it's quite hard. Yeah, position is quite complicated. It's quite closed. So when the position is closed, it's very hard to maneuver the bishops. So it's much easier to maneuver the knights and so on. Don't know. Okay, good game. Thanks a lot. All is shown. So let us continue. A lot of different challenges. So let's play, I don't know, Harry 8 from Australia. Accept. 5 minutes so I can see that my chat is stuck. You know, maybe because of not so many people chatting, or maybe because of some technical issues. So I'll just refresh the page. Okay, French defense again, and this variation that I think I have already understood how to play. Okay, bishop d3, knight to d7, castles, and here I appreciate this move. Just preventing the exchange operation on e4. That's the main point. Bishop takes f3, knight takes f3. Yep. And we have typical position, in which I can think I can try, I think, bishop f4 preventing bishop d6. Let's try this move. Queen to b6, very strange play. So what black wants to do, to castle alone. Maybe I'm not that against. I'm definitely not against this castling, I think. So let's play c4. I have pair of bishops, that is my main advantage. We have typical Caro-Kann pawn structure, but it's a very rare situation when white achieves a pair of bishops in Caro-Kann. So one of the exceptions we have here on the board, I think. Okay, so my plan is pretty much straightforward. I want to put my queen on c2. Now I wanted to play c5, grabbing the space. Maybe it's still a good idea for me, maybe not. I don't know. There are so many different active opportunities for white now. Let us start with just... Yeah, c5 should be played, I think, in any case. At least to prevent black c5. But I can do this also by playing rook to e1. If c5, then d4, d5. And the bishop on e7 will be hanging. Now let's do this rook e1 move. Castles. Yeah, c5 is still not the case. Still not the case. So let's play this move. Just preparing bishop h2 in case of knight h5 to save the bishop on this diagonal, because this diagonal looks very, very good. Interesting comment in the chat. So c5 gives the knight on d5 square. That's true, but it also gives d6 square. It also gives me d6 square. And in many cases it is a great achievement. c5 is still not good, so let's prepare a bit more carefully. And now c5. Yeah, let's try. Okay, let's see what will happen. So I want to occupy d6 with the knight. I can do this quite quickly. Knight e2, then knight c4, and then knight e6. Yes, black has d5 square, but I don't think this square matters here. There are a lot of classic examples. Just see some games of Alexander Alokhin against Chayas, as far as I remember. That is the classic example on this topic. Also, a lot of games from Botvinnik or something. So d6 matters, d5 not really. Okay, here I just win material. c5 not good, says Duke Crusher. Okay, I think now you understand my point. So c5 was great for this position. Yes. So learn classics, guys. Learn classics. So it really makes your life easier when you know the classics. You never know in which positions which ideas will be useful. It doesn't really matter if, well, it suits your opening repertoire or not. So most important games of all world champions should be learned, should be studied carefully. That really helps. Okay, I have extra exchange and yeah. But it could be a bit hard to convert the advantage because position is rather closed. Still, I think I have very good chances to do that. Okay, c5 is handing. Let's simplify a bit. And now I can play even b4 if I want. But I think it's too early, so... b3 makes sense because I prevent a4. Simply, yeah, locating my pawns on the king side, on the queen side, sorry. Okay, so knight f4, something... No, it's not really dangerous, but I want to play f4 myself at some point, so let's cover this square. That's important. Rook here, let's say h4. Queen b2. Attacking my a3 pawn. That's annoying, honestly. That is annoying. Okay, let's protect the pawn. I didn't want to play a4, weakening b4, so that's making my pawns on the king side simply useless. That's why I played this maybe a bit ugly move. Okay, now it's time to do something with this queen because it's really a danger, potentially. So now let's say b4. Oh, this is a huge blunder. Huge blunder. I controlled this square. Okay, so the main point in this game is probably this plan with c5. So when you have a chance to occupy d6 square in such a pawn structure, never ever be scared by giving your opponent a d5 square. So d5, well, if you control all the squares that can be attacked by this knight on d5 properly, it's not a big deal. What is really important here is a d6 square, because if you have a chance to occupy this square quickly with your minor piece, it will be just devastating. So look, 1, 2, 3. Knight is already in d6. Of course, it was a blunder. I mean, bc5 wasn't forced. But even if rook goes away somewhere, I don't know, my knight on d6 is just great. So it's superior piece. After my knight occupied d6, I have so many different plans. Because if bishop takes d6, my bishop will be great on d6, controlling all important squares in the opponent's camp. So my main plan will be gradual attack on the king side. I will play f4, g4, g5, or f5, opening up the game, and sooner or later, the power of such a knight on d6 or a bishop on d6 will be quite noticeable. Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah. So, let's continue. Let's play a few games to the guys I have already played a lot, or not. Or let's make just a newcomer day today, okay? So, newcomer day today. Just a sec. So, I just check if we played with each player. Robert Pizu from Romania. We have never played 2500. It's very interesting opponent. Should be an interesting fight. Let's play. d4, something closed. Knight f3, e6. c4, b6. Queen's Indian defense. Yeah, the mix. Probably the mix after bishop g5. It will be the mix of Queen's Indian and Nimzo Indian, right? Bishop b4. Bishop e7 is also playable here. But bishop b4 is kind of my main choice for me here. Okay, e3, let's say h6. Bishop takes f6, come on. Oh no, this can't be good, I think. So bishop h4 is an ambitious move, but bishop takes f6, okay. First I take on c3 to damage the pawn structure, now I take on f6. Black has no problems already. Just a better pawn structure, come on. No, it's not like it should be played with white for sure. e4. Okay. Let's play d6, e5, I think. If white plays e5 now, I just take on e5. Castles and e5, yep. So, I put my pawns in dark squares just to make my light square bishop not that restricted, but my bishop will be still restricted by opponent's pawns, especially after d5. But if white plays d5, then c5 will be weakened seriously. So now we can see that white wants to play c5 actually, using the pin along the b file. So knight d7 should be played to sort of prevent this for a while, and also to complete the development. Maybe I will play c5 myself just to blockade those pawns. I don't know. Queen a4. Okay, knight e7 is attacked. Maybe it's a good idea for me to put the queen on e7, protecting the knight. Additionally, controlling c5 square. Yeah, I'll do exactly this. Queen e7. I don't know. I'm satisfied with my position, but of course it is far from being clear. For example, now, does it make sense for me to play a5? To have a6 square possible to occupy with my bishop? I'm not sure because, well, in that case, c6 square may become critical. On the other hand, a5 helps me to, to make pawn a7 not hanging, which means I can use my rook somehow. There are a lot of different advantages in playing a5. Well, another interesting possibility now is just to play f5 one of a sudden, because e takes f5 leads to bishop f3, damaging the pawn structure, but in this case I sacrifice a pawn. Is it justified? I'm not sure. It looks very interesting. Let's try it. It looks interesting. For sure. Entertaining. Of course it was not forced. For sure. It wasn't even necessary to play like that. I just want to come up with some sort of experiment to try something new. So now I can play e4. I can also try bishop f3. So I wanted actually to play bishop takes f3. That's my initial idea. So now what do we have? We have very bad pawn structure. At the same time, I gave up the control over light squares completely. So advantages and disadvantages. How to develop my attack? Queen to g5 check first, and then knight f6. Or maybe to start with rook to e8, a to e8, to have everything prepared. I don't know. Which idea will be better? Because knight f6 looks a bit cheesy. Yeah, let's try rook to e8. To have everything centralized, to have everything on the king side. I'm not sure that I did right, because, yeah. Now I'm 2 pawns down, first of all. 2 pawns down, yeah. It wasn't necessary, I mean, to sacrifice material at all. But okay, I did what I did. So, check. Let's go and attack. F3 can be attacked. Rook takes F5. Come on, rook takes F5 is too much, I think. That's just too much. Let's start with this move. Attacking F3. And D4, by the way. Yeah, that is something really odd. Yes, of course, queen b7. So now queen e4 might be really annoying, or rook e4 or something. So knight f6 should be played for sure to control this square. And also intending to play something like d5, breaking the connection between the queen and pawn on f3. Very interesting position. Okay, bishop e4. Now what? Rook to e7 deserves attention. Just protecting g7 and c7 for a while. Yep. Now what? Another rook to e8. Yes, another rook to e8, preparing e takes d4, and then something on the e file might be possible. Interesting position. Of course, I don't want to give up my knight. My knight might be very dangerous in such a situation. f5 is hitting right now, after bishop b5, by the way. So I can grab it, I think. Yeah, I will do this. It's a useful pawn. E takes d4. Yeah, e takes d4 can be played here. Yes. Maybe e4 was better. Yeah, e4 was better for sure. Okay, let's take here. White has all the pawns very bad. Should be just okay here with black. More than okay, I think I'm just better. Yeah. Oops. I won only on time. Honestly, yeah, maybe this taking on d5 wasn't a good decision, or maybe I played badly later in the endgame. I don't know. But, well, definitely this interesting sacrifice deserved attention in general, so it was interesting, but it wasn't forced. I could have played much easier, I mean, without sacrifices, because long term I was already better, having a better pawn structure. That's for sure. Here, after rook e1, I guess e4 was possible. Maybe I've missed that. But I'm still not sure if it was something for me. So bishop takes c4. Let's say knight takes c4. Pawn takes c4. Queen f3 check. Rook g2. So what? Rook takes c4 probably. Yeah, rook takes c4. Looks good. But then, I don't know, even rook to g1. Position is far from being clear. Far from being clear. So, it wasn't clear at all. Of course, instead of doing all this, f5, I mean, and yeah, sacrificing all this material, it was much easier for me to play something like a5, let's say. Just a5, c5 is not the case. I can take on c5. It's not a big deal. I'm a pawn up. Then probably rook to b8 or something. Then gradually preparing the play against c4, maybe bishop to a6, and so on. So I will be happy when black will play, sorry, when white will play d5. Yeah, making c5 weak, and so on. So, as I said, long term, black's position is better. It doesn't mean that black will win in any case. It's not clear, of course, but black should be better. Yep. Okay. So guys, unfortunately, the next game will be the last one today. So we will do only 1 hour and a half, just a standard time, because I need to make some extra homework. Yeah, not for my German classes, but to help my wife with the kids. And yeah, we'll compensate that next time, I guess, next Friday. So for today, it will be just the last game. Just a sec, I will pick up the opponent. We didn't play. Yeah, Schach Tiger 55. Ich vermute. Accept. Let's play. I play with black again. Yeah, again, the guy we didn't play at all. Again, d4, closed. So, bishop f4, e6, e3, c5. We have London system, one of the appearances of London system. c5, let's say knight c6. Okay. So bishop d3, let's say castling. Oh, bishop to b5. That's interesting. I'll just go away with the knight immediately. Because anyway, this knight goes to f5 or somewhere in many variations. So why not to put it there just right now? I don't know. What is the problem with that? e4. Yeah, I failed to control e4 square. That was my mistake. That was a serious mistake. Yeah, nasty position. Nasty position. Okay, if I take on e4 twice, then play rook to b8, bishop h7, does it win for white immediately or not? King h7, knight g5, king g8, queen h5. Looks like winning. Looks like winning on the spot. Okay, I'll just take on g3 because, well, it looks also quite bad for black. No questions. At least playable. I don't know how to call this position because it looks awful. Absolutely. But I will try. I'll try to play this shit. Oh, yeah, this position. Oh, castle's short. Well, this leaves me some chances. This gives me some chances still. Not that bad. Come on. I thought white will definitely castle long and just smash me on the king side. But now, I'm getting back to the game. Of course, I'm still worse. Just typical problems of French defense, having this stupid bishop on c8, having no counterplay, but yeah, I still have some chances. Guys, do not forget to, follow the next training Tuesday. It will be something really special. I will show you one of my best games from the last tournament. It will be very instructive, very interesting, I think. So to do that, you have to be a premium member. If you're still not a premium member, just become a premium member. Come on. It's just better to be a premium member. There's a big difference, by the way. So when you just registered a basic account on Chess24, it's like, getting to live in Germany after living in Ukraine. But if you become a premium member, it's like moving from Bielefeld to Hamburg. Big difference, believe me. So b3, okay, what is that? Let's play a3. So potentially this a3 pawn might become a pest pawn. Yep. I will hope. I will do everything to do that. But first I have to find a counterplay. I have a feeling that I have no counterplay at all in this position. c4. Yep. Trollfjord Paddler asks me, do you know Bielefeld? Come on, I live in Bielefeld. Oh, very nice. It is the funniest thing today, I think. That'd be one. Oh, my goodness. Okay. dc4, then takes f3, then takes d4. As I said, well, I have some chances. I'm still alive. After all these stupid moves made by me in the opening stage, I'm still alive. I still have counterplay. That is very nice. It's really nice. Can I take on d4 with the queen? I don't think so. I might be trapped there, so I'll take with the pawn. Do you know Bielefeld? Of course I know that. Oh, that was fun. Really? You play for Norderstedt? Yes, it is allowed. To live in Bielefeld and to play for Norderstedt. Okay. 95. That was a blunder. Yeah, a necessary one. But I want to make position trickier. Fuchsia says about non-existence of Bielefeld. I know this joke too. Yep. So I'm a part of this Bielefeld conspiracy. Yep. It doesn't really exist, guys. So let's do this. Wow. Boom. A Bielefeld style. Check. Is it something or just a bluff? I'm not quite sure. But let's try it at least. Okay, what do I have now? Let's attack g5 pawn. Oh, it's possible to grab it, I mean, with the queen g5 and queen takes e5 immediately. I don't know, why didn't I do this? Because I was really, focused on talking about nonsense. But okay. Yeah, that should be better, of course. Extra material, extra minor piece, but I have a lot of pawns, right? Yeah. Let's play with all pawns, I don't know. I don't know, g4. Psychological attack. I have a lot of pawns here, like, I don't know, 4 pawns. Yeah, f3, looks great. I do like my position already. Yeah, g2. Wow. Rook takes h4. Oh, shouldn't forget about prophylaxis. Yeah, let's take everything here. Now it's winning, of course. Yeah. I won. Okay, Bielefeld style, just sacrificing everything, psychological attack. So, of course, compensation doesn't exist as well as the Bielefeld itself. But, yeah, look at this. 4 pawns at some point on the force rank. Come on. Moving together to the back rank and so on. Yeah. Sorry, I have to go already. I have to run even. Yeah, I have to help my wife with the kids. I will answer the question, a good question from KS a bit later, directly in the chat. Or maybe you can ask your question in private messages. It is also a good idea because I usually answer. Yep. So today was a bit messy show, I think, because I didn't actually engage with the audience as usual, right? I didn't actually spend a lot of time, like 2 hours usually that I do. But I had some reasons for this, and I think you will excuse me. What I did good today, I played only newcomers, so that's, well, they are not jealous, and yes, they just received their portion of attention and so on. Okay, anyways, see you next Tuesday. I just remind you the new time, 7:30, because of my language school, right? And well, have a nice weekend. Take care. Bye bye. See you.